we got to title this. Hey, this is Bob with some other individuals here, like 400 Angels, and then Daniel Falls, who has a book. It's awesome. We've showed it to you before. So look on my webpage and stuff because it's awesome about the history. Okay, Word of the Lord. And Cruz is here. Say hi, Cruz.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. And he's got our adoration mug that was given to me for my birthday, which he is. And Michelle did that. And thank you so much, Michelle. I'm just looking forward to the next presents. And hey, anybody there that missed my birthday, I do accept late gifts, especially from anybody named Robert. Okay, so Isaiah 10, woe to those who decree unrighteous decrees, who write misfortune. So here's the word of the Lord. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! What are we to stop? This feeding off of everything that's coming out in the newspapers. It's an election cycle. People in an election cycle are looking for the weaknesses of their opponents. That's okay if you're in a sporting event where you want to win, but it's not okay when you're talking about people's characters and lying about those things, or when it's not looking for how you can be, especially for a country, look for the mutual good and see how you agree versus you disagree, and then work and disagree strongly on those things you disagree. But we're making each other thugs and we're making each other the worst of the worst. And is there an element of that? Well, how do we measure and quantify? You know, we do by what's being shown in the nation, but we also look at our history and how much we've grown, and we don't throw that out. And we look at, you know, how God thinks about these things. This is a word I'll come back and pray Isaiah 60 or Psalm 67 about. Basically, this stop it is stop focusing on the problem, stop focusing on the perceived bad, stop getting into fear, and stop building a case against somebody else or somebody that we perceive a certain way. God is saying very clearly, magnify Him, magnify what He's saying, and ask Him His questions. This is what He asks us. Do we seek Him in the temple? It says, woe to you that build temples, but forget me. The idea is we seek Him not because of what makes us feel good, but what makes Him feel good. Is unity between people groups make Him feel good? Does turning the other cheek make Him feel good? Does coming up with hopeful, fun solutions to heavy issues between nations, does that make Him feel good? For us to lift up hope and joy and faith, does it make Him feel good to have us fighting as believers on how bad it's going to be and how you got milquetoast prophets and this one's and that one? Look, I'm 63 the other day. I've lived enough time. Don't you be telling me what's not believing for hard times and challenging times. Don't you believe it for a minute, or I believe it. That's calling me, lukewarm milk toast, because I believe God's greater than the devil, and I believe that He can do greater things in this hour. It is easier to be hopeless than to be filled with hope. It's easier to die for Him than to live for Him full of hope. And so let's just give God an opportunity and ask Him His hope-filled questions. God, what are you doing in this situation? God, how are you redeeming it? God, here's your promises in times like this, the Ninevehs. And you bring out the history and you ask, like Abraham, will you save the other party if there's 5 righteous people? Will you reach out to them? You know, the children love each other. They turn back to each other. And they ask the more greater questions about hope and love and life, and they're just courageous questions that we're to reach out to the other side and other people, and we might get kicked in the face, but we get up, let them kick us in the face again. We've had to do that in the church. We've had people misunderstand us. And I say, stop it. To people that have been church pastors that have corrected me or others, and they had no understanding. I just say, stop it. You haven't lived life, haven't been out in life. So I'm not being mean. I'm just saying, you haven't invested enough into life, people, into the business realm and into the political realm, the educational realm. I've taught in the university. I've been in the education realm for years. My dad, inner city principal, etc. Fought politics, ran levels of campaigns, major people, business, started a number of businesses. So stop it. Stop coming from a priestly view that just is building a kingdom that's separated from everyday reality, and stop being kings that once there was a mistake of a priestly person or it didn't work in your favor, like Saul, as quick as you wanted it to, you give up on God. No, and then you go to some other sources. It's a opportunity to not be Zechariah. Zechariah is what the word of the Lord was. He said, Zechariah, here they come with the promise of the Lord. And it was a little late for him. And he had lost his way and got disappointed. You can see it, Luke 1 and 2. 3 different people, 4, and they respond differently, 5 actually. But there was, Zechariah said, how can this be, this move of God and all that? He said, I just seen too much. Well, you just got to be fresh every day and die daily to our hurts, our worries. We don't want to miss a day where we don't give him worthy love and believe in him and say, again, this is the day of your promises, and see him in a redemptive way, even in the things we're experiencing. But Zechariah couldn't believe it, so he had no testimony, could not speak. And then he bowed his knee and said, no, God is doing something amazing. And so stop it. Let's not take our eyes off the enemy, take our eyes off the battles. Unless God has given you permission to fight it in a certain way, then go for it. I believe there's prophetic voices, friends of mine, that are to discern, and they have a grace for what's right and wrong, and they're to speak into those situations. But they're not the ones looking for conspiracies and all that. I mean, conspiracies are always happening, right? Because it's just people believe one way. A person without God can believe anything. And so it shouldn't shock us. I'm surprised Planet is going this well. And I know that it's going to go better, because I know, let's focus on the word of the Lord that says there is an invitation for these 100 days to adore him and release miracles, and release the miracle of his presence. And we'll pray that with Psalm 67. So please stop it. Please, for the next 100 days, spread the word. Turn off the bad news. Turn off the lies about people. Chris keeps putting love and forgiveness in front of me. And it's really, to me, appreciation as well as love and forgiveness. It's appreciation that I'll have my son on tomorrow night, and you'll be able to ask him questions. And he's getting his PhD in environmental philosophies, but he's studied Nietzsche and Kierkegaard and Dostoevsky, so on both sides. These philosophers, and he's got real questions, and he's asking. And I'm often with people that are intellectuals, there's intellectual demons that come along, that a pride can happen, and you want people to be set free from that. I'm not saying he's got a real humility, but he's asking real questions, and so we have to be able to answer deeper questions. And I'm going to answer them with fun solutions, because I believe he has something that's simple in his childlike faith that can change the nations. So stop it and just give him a chance to Say, ask him if he loves to be generous. Ask him if he loves the people of the nation. Ask him if what's he named our nation? Good Samaritan nation, I believe. Ask him what he's doing where it looks like corruption is happening. What is he doing? And does he have 7,000 more? Like Elijah once said, there's nobody in Portland or there's nobody in Seattle. No, just ask him the questions. Do I have positive thoughts about what I can do in these nations and these places? Will you do Psalm 67 and invite me in? Psalms 115:16 says, God owns the heavens, but the earth he's given to the sons of man. Then he says in Matthew 6 to ask him, like our Father, who art in heaven, come on earth as it is in heaven. Invite him in. Will you have that reality? And we get to partner with him. So ask him about his hopes and dreams. Ask him if he's ever lost one bit of joy and childlike expectancy. Ask him if he's not like the one on Christmas, that he's the son down at the bottom of the steps, waiting for, or at the top of the steps, and the Father's going to come and bring great gifts. Ask the Father what great gifts he's going to bring in this time. Ask him what's the important keys during this time. Ask him how he wants to show his face in a way that he's never shown his face, so that it will be more overcoming than what we've ever seen, and bring hope and joy in this life. Ask him why he picked you. I picked you to bring hope into hopeless situations. Ask him why you're like the Ann who helped Helen Keller. Some of you aren't, where it looks like a hopeless purpose. But ask him how he's going to work through you with grace, and how you change one that changes a nation. Ask him how important you are, because some of you have forgotten. Ask him how your prayers and your view of him and what he can do in the earth is saying, I have friendship with you, and God does everything for his friends. So, word of the Lord, stop, as Isaiah 10 said, proclaiming the misfortune, and start to speak that which will care for the widow, the orphan, the justice for all. And our God is wise enough to do it, and he will give you incredible creative solutions. Again, be ready. Just asking, and we'll send a word out. My some questions, but this time to be God focused, and to see God in a way we've never seen him before. So in a while we'll read this adoration pillar word part of it and pray Psalm 67 with you. Okay, talk to you soon. Bless you. Bye. Now go for it.